We're well into 2022 now, and you know what that means? Most of you have already given up on your New Year's resolutions if you already set them, or if you didn't, then, well, you gave up on setting them. One thing I think that you should never give up on is learning how to build your dream life. You can have your best year ever this year. There's nothing that should be able to stop you. I get it, we all have life that gets in the way, and I'm definitely never going to say that my life is perfect, but I have built my core life as my dream life, and it took me years to even figure out what I wanted that to be. So I want to help you do some of that brainstorming, learning, figuring out what you really, really want so that you can create it yourself. The first thing you need to do is sit down and figure out what you really want out of life. And if you are where I was whenever I started trying to figure this out, then you might need to figure out what you don't want in your life. For instance, I didn't want to be broke. I didn't want to eat ramen noodles all the time. Really bad, since I now find out that I'm gluten sensitive, so it didn't help me at all. Maybe I didn't want to live in a tiny apartment where my neighbors could hear me and I could hear them, and I'm like, I don't even know them. Why? Oh, let's get out of here. Maybe, I don't know, driving vehicles that I wasn't sure if they were super safe or not. So there can be a ton of things that you don't want. You know, maybe living a life where you're stuck in a dead-end job or a bad relationship. Things that you don't want can really fuel your ideal vision for what you do want. And I'm not saying that you're going to be doing the same thing every day, but one of the key ways that I really got to thinking about what I really wanted my life to look like was breaking it down by the day. What could I do every day or most days where I could be happy? And that did include working, because we all do have to feed ourselves most of the time, right? Unless we're like trust fund babies, and I am not. Are you? So you can think about it like a morning routine. Like, what could you get behind and get excited about getting up in the morning? So I don't like getting up super early in the morning, and that's fine because I'm a writer, and most of the team members that I work with in my editing role, they're all over the place. So I may be sleeping while they're working, and we have some overlap there, but it really doesn't matter, and they don't really care when I get up. So that's beautiful, and that's one of the things that I really wanted. I remember whenever I was working a factory job and I would have to get up, I think it was like 5 a.m. Like at that point, I really remembered it because I hated it so bad. And the car was super cold and I have to run outside and heat it up. I remember whenever I invested in a pair of like warm gloves and I could get in my car and my hands didn't feel like they were frozen to the steering wheel. I was like, I have arrived. So I would drive on the way to work. I was about, I think 18, 19 at that time. And I had my son at 17. So I would take him to the babysitters on the way to work. And I would miserably slog into work and hate every second of it. And I would look at the clock and be like, oh, it must have been at least an hour, and it was literally 5 minutes. So it was very easy for me to know what I did not want. And that was working in a factory where I hated it, and the smells made me nauseous, and going around in circles since I'm getting motion sickness was really bad for me. So, oh my goodness, guys, what a mess that was. So I could easily say, I don't want to do that. And then I went to third shift, which I hated that because I can't function if I don't get rest at night. So I'm like, man, I sound like I'm really got some sleep issues. But I knew after that what I really wanted. I wasn't sure that it was possible, but I started learning, oh, this is what I would really like to do. And so now, you know, fast forward to my life, I can decide when I want to wake up. I schedule my own work. And it's really great, and I'm super grateful. After years of feeling miserable in what I did, I'm now able to wake up, have a cup of coffee, do like some reading, do my morning pages, and just really have a kind of a laid back morning routine and then get started with work without having to worry too much about anyone caring when I show up there. Besides for your daily things that you would like to do, I also want you to think about some special things that you would like to do. Maybe every 3 months you go to a cabin in the woods and enjoy a nice time where you're off of social media and just do a technology detox and just enjoy nature. Maybe that's your thing. Whatever it is that you want to do, give yourself something that you can really look forward to and you can think about that's going to get you the fuel that you need to do what you need to do to create the rest of your dream life. And we touched on, what does work look like to you a little bit, but also think about what your relationships look like. Do you want to be married? Do you want to have kids? What is it that you don't have that you want, or what is it that you do have that you want to make it even better? Because there's always room for improvement, no matter how good things are with you and your partner, or you and your kids, or you and whoever. There are always ways that you can make relationships better. Now, one thing that I learned is sometimes you're the only one trying in a relationship, and you can just wear yourself out, burn yourself out, and continue to give to someone, and they don't care. So it's very painful. To me, it's probably the most painful thing that I've experienced. But I've learned that if people don't raise to your standards and know, hey, this is how I want to be treated, I'm going to treat you how you want to be treated, and they just continue to step all over your boundaries, you have to let them remove themselves from your life. And while it may be painful, it will really make you feel a lot better in the long run. Once you know all of the things that you would like to have out of your life, a big thing that you need to do is actually do the stuff that you need to do. So it's easy to say, oh, this is what I want, this is how I want it to be, and all of that stuff. But the problem is most people are like, oh my goodness, that looks like work, I don't want to do it. And I totally get that in a way, but I've always had a crazy, insane work ethic, and as long as I knew what I needed to do, I didn't really care. I was just like, is this gonna work? Yes? Okay, great, let's get this going. I will do whatever is necessary, sun up to sundown, no matter what it is, I will get it done. So I don't totally understand people that are just like, oh, I don't want to do it. But I get the feeling, because I still get the feeling, but I just have the ability to push through it, and I don't know why. One of the hacks of getting through this challenging part of the process is figuring out if you're an incremental person or if you're an all-in person. So for instance, if you want to become a fitness competitor, do you want to do this incrementally? How to, okay, I'm gonna go get a trainer. They're gonna show me how to do my workouts that I need to get this done. And then I'm gonna work on my diet after I get that down. Or are you somebody that's all in, where you're like, just tell me everything that you need me to do and I'm gonna do it. I'm quitting everything I don't need to do cold turkey. When you know yourself, you don't put yourself in a situation where you're automatically going to fail. One of the most difficult things to do that you might come across is actually pushing through imposter syndrome, fear, and the haters. Let's talk about that. No matter what you do, there's someone out there that is jealous of you, that thinks that you shouldn't be doing something, that there's something else you should do with your life. And it can be hard whenever you don't know, oh, should I do this? Should I not do this? To actually push through. But once you get it in your head that you're like, no, this is what I want to do. This is for me. It doesn't matter what anybody says, doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you, because you're just going to do it. You're going to show up over and over again and just make it happen. Always do your best. Show up and be proud of who you are. And it doesn't matter who hates on you, if they're nasty Facebook comments, YouTube comments, Instagram, TikTok, all the social media. If they all have nasty things to say about you for whatever reason, it won't be able to break through your core, because you know who you are, you know that you're a person that is doing the best that they can, and then you just continue to get better until you break through and have that success. And also, you need to keep in mind that your dreams can change. My dreams that I had whenever I was even in my early 20s are not at all the same that I have now, at all. Like, some of the core things are there, but how I wanted to achieve them, they're not the same, and that's okay. The people that have come with me on this journey are probably like, what's happening? People from 10 years are like, hey, what's going on with you in your life, and check in with me, and they're like, wow, that is totally different than the last time we talked. And that's okay. That's totally fine. You are not a solid thing that can't move. You are able to grow and build on your dream and become something absolutely amazing. If you want more help, don't forget to subscribe and drop this video a like, and check out this video